a very good evening and welcome to the Hampton League Netball Show. Great to have your company, week number 1. And I'll tell you what, very exciting to have the season back up and running after having the year lost to COVID last year. And it was a great day last Friday at Victoria Park to kickstart the season. Now we mustn't forget we've had a lot of things going on in the off season, and one of those is our major partners of the Hampton Football Netball League. So we must have a big shout out to our 4 major partners, Maccas. They do a great job supporting local sport. Also Power Core, they've jumped on board for season 2021. Lynn Doc Living, great to have them on board. And I know with the live streaming last week of last weekend's Hampton League Live Match of the Day, a lot tuned in and we're really excited to see Hampton League back up and running. And finally, Sun Gold Milk, Billy Slater and the team, they always look after our local sports and they've jumped back on board once again. So great to have them a part of the Hampton League family for 2021. Gives me great pleasure to introduce my co-host of the Hampton League Netball Show for season 2021, Netball's First Lady in Trish Butters. And Trish, great to have your company on this Wednesday night.
Thanks, Hilly. Yeah, it's a bit of a different experience being here and everyone can see us. I'm not quite sure about that, but anyway, we'll go along with that. So.
We've forged the partnership of many seasons on the radio, but now we're online, so there's probably a bit more scrutiny, so we'll have to make sure that we're looking our A-grade best when it comes to each Wednesday night. But great to have Hampton League Netball back especially, and football, but we're here about netball, and it was just great to see a big crowd out there at Victoria Park last Friday.
Yeah, super excited to have everyone back, and unfortunately I didn't get out there. I took the opportunity to go away for a few days before the real season started, but I was one of the people trying to tune in on Hampton League Live and looking at the footage, and it was really fabulous. You know, we had a bit of trouble with internet up there, but other than that, and I did say to Hilly, and I was texting him, who's actually winning the netball? But I heard it was a really hot day. So well done to everyone who got out there and played well. And I heard the netball, what a tight game. To finish 1 goal for every quarter, every time I checked across, it was 1 goal in it. So well done to those girls.
Yeah, what a way to start the season. A win to South Warrnambool 36-35, and I think it just shows that these two sides are going to be 2 of the sides to beat in the 2021 season. We're going to go to our first interview of the night, and it is the coach of the South Warrnambool Roosters, Lisa Battistello. She's currently in Lake Fines, just having a little bit of a Easter weekend away. And Lisa, thanks for joining us on the Hampton League Netball Show. It must have been great to get back into it last Friday on Good Friday.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it was. It was a bit surreal, I'll be honest. Like, even up until the day before, I just kept, trying not to get too excited, thinking, I hope nothing goes wrong. We don't run into some sort of lockdown. But to get it back on court with the girls and, for it to all be happening again was really, it felt amazing.
And what a tight game to start off your season, 36-35. It seems to me that there's not going to be a lot difference between the two sides as the year goes on, but you must have been really rapt to get that 4 points to start off the season well.
There's been a little bit of hype about South in the off-season. We have picked up a couple of great recruits since we last played. So I think, internally there was a little bit of pressure amongst the girls. They were sort of thinking, everyone was expecting us to win. I, on the other hand, really wasn't. I was just hoping for them to get through the game. It's going to be so hot. And I was just hoping we could implement, the gameplay we planned. And if we met the goals that we set for ourselves, then for us it would be a win. But to actually win the 4 points was double bonus. And, we couldn't have been happier, really.
Lisa, as I wasn't at the game, I was really interested to know how the new players to your club, Annie Blackburn, Carly Watson, how they went and what positions they played in. Can you give us some insight into that?
For sure. So Annie, she started in goal attack for us for a half, then went back to shooter. It was a long, hot day, but she was prolific. She would have maybe shot 75% of the goals for the day. Haven't quite got that stat on me, but she was incredible. Just back to the best. And for Annie, she'd been overseas for 2 years prior, so she hadn't played for even longer than everybody else. So I think if there was the most nervous person award, it was probably poor Annie. But in true Annie style, just shook it off and got out on the court and did what needed to be done. She was incredible. So no matter where on the court she was. And Carly, lots of hype about Carly too, probably a more recent signing. But of course, she never fails to just lift the intensity on the court. We had a lot of structures in place that, you know, really allowed for a person like her to take off intercepts and really use her elevation and speed and incredible fitness. So yeah, we were thrilled. The amount of she would have had at least, you know, 15 turnovers for the game, which is pretty massive on a hot day like we had. She just didn't stop. She was goal defence most of the day, but had a little spell back in keeper.
That's fantastic. And we know what you get with Annie and Carly. You'll get 110% every week. You've spoken a lot about the junior players you've got coming through your club and who else is stepping up. And I can only read what I can find, and everything's got stars on them because they're juniors. Can you give me some insight into some of the junior players that stepped up on the day?
Yeah, so we're so proud. We have 6 girls that have stepped up to their first solid year of Open. Some of them had played a bit of Open prior, but Olivia Maris is now, you know, one of our starting goalies, incredible, and a club person. Her dad was a superstar, Lee Maris, everyone would know. And so we're so happy for girls like her to get their start. We've also got girls like Isabella Ray, who have played a bit of netball in Open before, and she, you know, has come back looking like, you know, a 25-year-old mature player, even though she's obviously only, you know, young, probably 19 still, but just, yeah, a really solid, seasoned, smart player. So the girls like that, you can just depend on all day long. M. Stacey had a full game in defence. She's generally keeper, had a little run out at goal defence. She was phenomenal, you know, obviously a really tough gig for her to be pulling on that goalkeeper bib with Nell, but she did an amazing job. So we were really thrilled with what she was able to do. And then Meg Carlson, our other little baby who played another 4 quarters, took the crazy intercept with 20 seconds to go that sent the ball down the other end. And so when you've got your first year players, you know, taking intercepts to win games with the dying seconds on the clock, you know, you haven't only just got good juniors, you've got awesome Open players already. And yeah, it's really exciting for us, you know, for such a great young side to be able to hold their cool and just to stay, you know, really focused and concentrate through that last little bit.
Hey Lisa, a big challenge again this week when you take on the Warrnambool Blues. You look at the Warrnambool Blues and you see the names Cust, Wormald, Cowling. You know, they're star-studded, the Warrnambool Blues, and I think they're going to be one of the big improvers this year. So another big test for your side.
I know, we keep saying, you know, we've got 2 of the toughest games, first 2 up, but I think that's great in a lot of ways. I think that'll really set us up, you know, for a really good look at where we really are at. I mean, there's been a lot of hype about us, but at the same time, we're still very unproven. And with 18 months, I think everybody is a little bit. I think people will come back different players because of it, and some people aren't coming back to play. So yeah, I'm extremely worried about Warrnambool. I think they're a great side. They've got a lot of height, a lot of versatility. And again, I think it'll be a great opportunity for our girls to implement what we've been setting out to do. I definitely think they should be, you know, held in the highest regard in terms of the leaders of the comp, Warrnambool, for sure.
I agree. I think Warrnambool, they've got some really good new recruits too. Ava Pearce has come across from Port Fairy. So she'll be strength into that team, and a few others. And they named a girl, Jamie Goodman, from South Australia. I don't know much about her. I'd be really keen to see what position she plays in. But you certainly have an advantage having already had 1 game, because we all know having 12 months out of netball and getting that first game under your hat, so to speak, will be an advantage to this weekend.
Absolutely. I think, you know, just the sheer nerves. And just, you know, we had a couple of great practice matches against Colac and Naranda, but it's, yeah, unless it's really for the 4 points, it's a different kind of feeling around a game.
Hey Lisa, just before we let you go, it must be a busy household during the week with the Battistellos, because obviously husband Matthew is the senior coach of the South Warrnambool Roosters. You're the senior coach of the Open Women's team. Just give us a brief overlook of what the week might look like for the Battistello household. Tuesday, Thursday, and obviously Saturday must be just hectic.
It's funny, up until this week, the lovely South people have let me train on the weekend. So Open trained on the weekend just for that reason alone, Trent. It is pretty hectic. But I think the actual time spent at netball for myself is probably, you know, the Thursday night training, lots of, you know, coordinating during the week, talking to the girls, that kind of thing. But yeah, good old Marzi, who everyone knows, good old league member, his babysitter 101, and couldn't be without her. So shout out to Marzi. She's exceptional for us. And we're very lucky. Matt's got an amazing family in Warrnambool, and one of the reasons we moved home really from Ballarat, just to have the support for things like this. With he's got amazing sisters and mum who chime in and give the kids a lot more fun. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's good. They love it too.
Hey Lisa, thank you for joining us on the first edition of the Hampton League Netball Show. We're really blessed to have you share your time, obviously away in Lake Fynes, just for a couple of days with the family, and all the best of luck for this weekend against the Warrnambool Blues, but also too for the season ahead, and hopefully we can catch you down the track.
Sure will. Thank you so much for having me, and I'll look forward to seeing you walking past in the neighbourhood, Trent. we live quite close to each other, so we often have a wave and a little chat as we go. So glad netball's back. I can get a lot more insights from you. It'll be good.
I don't know whether my insights are going to be worth much, but Lisa Batistello, great to have her on the program. And what a great recruit! What a great recruit for the South Warrnambool Roosters, but just the league in general.
Oh, for sure, yeah. She's added a lot. Her experience and coaching ability, and I guess I saw Sarah must have been out there on Friday watching the game, and I'm sure there was a little bit of input there from Sarah, but. Yeah, it's great to have them around our league. And just thinking about South, I'm really interested to have their first game this weekend. They've got electronic scoreboards up at the courts. They've had some off-season work done there and some court improvements and resurfaced courts. So they're very innovative.
They are, and they put a lot into their netball program as well. And I think that's evident with their juniors over the last couple of years. Hey, Trish, it's been a big, let's say 18 months away from the court. I know that everyone will be chomping at the bit to get into it this weekend. Let's have a bit of a look through all of the clubs and just sort of see what they've done on the court, and maybe some of the personnel that are there and that won't be there this year. So the first team we're going to look at is the Camperdown Magpies, led by Brooke Richardson once again. She did a terrific job in 2019. Tell us a bit about where you think the Magpies might sit this year. Obviously, Emma Smith comes in from Warrnambool, and Ruby Pekin Schleicht returns from overseas. They do lose Emma Wright. Yeah,
so as I said at the launch, it's really difficult to know with some of these teams until we see them play. There's a few girls coming across from different leagues and seeing what the pace is. I think they'll probably be thereabouts. I can't see them being top 5.
They're always thereabouts, though, aren't they? Very tough netball side to take on.
They're hard to beat. They're tough up there.
The one that really interests me, and they're a great team, and have obviously got a really good coach back this season, is the Cobden Bombers. Sophie Hinkley returns, which is fantastic. Strengthens up there wherever Sophie decides to play, whether it's mid-court or up in the shooting circle. It's going to strengthen her. Jess Whedon returns from being away due to family commitments, I think it may be. They lose Alicia Blaine, but 2 great players coming back for the Cobden Bombers. Yeah,
they'll be strong. There's no doubt about that. Sophie adds. It's a bit like Annie Blackburn coming into a team. They're quality players. They're best and fairest medalists, and they're going to add to any team. I know Sophie's ultra fit and really takes a lot of pride in her fitness. So she's. As you say, she can play in defence, mid-court or in the goal, so she's going to be hard to beat. And really, they haven't lost much, so they're going to be a tough team.
Where do you see Sophie Hinkley's best netball?
Oh, I actually like her in the mid-court because she's a defensive player, but then she can drive an attack. I know she plays a lot of centre. We took her away to Association Champs a few years ago, and she was enormous in wing attack. Her feed into the goals and control set us up in a lot of positions. So, so mid-court for me.
Yeah, I tell you what, they're going to be a hard team to beat, the Cobden Bombers, I reckon.
For sure.
With those 2 players coming back in especially, and they haven't lost much, as you said. The Hamilton Kangaroos, they're going to be an interesting team this year. Obviously, lose a bit of personnel. They've got some good under-17s coming through. Their juniors have always been quite strong. One player I'm looking forward to seeing is Kyra McInnes, which is a new recruit from Geelong. Just reading in the Warrnambool Standard, that was a player that was identified as someone to watch, but a bit of an unknown quantity under the tutelage of Kelsey Lewis, once again, the Hamilton Kangaroos. Yeah,
well, they've lost Kelsey. She's having another baby, but they're bringing in Holly Phillips. Now, Holly is one of their really good juniors, very tall player. So I'm glad to see her getting a go in seniors, and I think she needs to play there each week and build strength. So she's a high quality player. But so I don't know much about this girl or where she plays, so it'll be interesting to watch after the first round. And see what happens.
I guess that's where we'll get our gauge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Koroit, absolutely sensational last week against the Roosters. 1 point defeat or 1 goal defeat. Danielle McInerney's looking after the Croydon girls this year, and they're really, I guess, promoting within as well. You know, got a couple of great young girls that are stepping up. Layla Monk, Molly McLaren, Rachel Dobson comes back, which I think is a huge recruit, obviously, from that really bad Achilles injury. So the Saints, you'd imagine they'll be up there, especially with the result from last week.
Well, I just keep finding them. We think every year, Croydon, their players are retiring. They've had 2 girls having babies. Two of their key premiership players had babies or having babies. And you think, oh, where are they going to get the next lot of talent from? But Molly McKinnon back is a big in for them. 2 big injuries. Rachel, though, she's such a dominant and experienced player. I think people underrate her at their own peril, really. She can control that goal ring and help Snell. But they've got some good juniors coming up through there again, and apparently Layla Monk was a star on the weekend. So.
Yeah, big raps for Layla Monk. And I think even 2019, there was a lot of hype about her being, that next generation of player that could really step into that Croydon side. So looking forward to seeing what the Saints can do under Danielle McInerney. North Warrnambool under the tutelage of first-year coach Sky Billings, which is great. Sky's been a part of the program for a long time. She gets a chance at coaching. Great to see Georgia Corbett back from Ballarat, which I think is a huge plus, one of the best defenders in the competition. Where do you see the Eagles?
I think they'll be top 5. I think they'll be okay. I'm not sure how much depth they've got, but they've got some really good ins. They've lost a bit of mid-court. So, but they have, as I said, Rachel Ryan back, a really strong defence, Jordan and Georgia in the back. That's a really strong back line in anyone's team. Up in the goal end, they'll have Sky and Vic Grundy. Brain's gone, just lost her name. Little girl Porter. I can't think of her first name, but anyway, she's an up-and-coming talent. She's a top player. So, I think they'll be okay. I reckon they'll be in the 5. We'll just wait and see. They've got Cobden on Saturday. That will be a real test.
Tough way to start the season, isn't it? For the North Warrnambool Eagles. Port Fairy's going to be a real interesting one for me. Obviously, there's been some big profile players that have gone to other sides. You spoke about Ava Pearce and Ash Evans that's gone to the Warrnambool Blues. We've got Carly Watson that's gone.
Chelsea McMahon
to the Roosters.
And Cumo. There's lots of outs.
Rianne has gone to Croydon. So, there's been a bit of change. But in saying that, Renee Taylor, just from what I've read in the paper and so forth, and just listening to her talk, she seems upbeat about the squad that she's got for this season. Tara Elliott comes in from the North Warrnambool Eagles, so we know Tara's a great youngster. And the other one I'm looking forward to seeing is Olivia Courtley, which is a new recruit from out of town from Melbourne. So I don't know much about her, but again, the raps on her are seen to be pretty strong.
I think she was the girl I met at the launch. She looked like a mid-quarter, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm totally wrong. She might come out and be a gun goalie, but so I'll be interested to see how they go. And I think, they've always had strong teams all the way through in their juniors, so bringing them through, and it might take a season or 2, but I think they'll be on the right track. Yeah,
I think they will too. They've done they've got a great junior program over there as well. And I know Renee is really passionate about getting the Seagulls back up and running, quite strongly. So we wish her all the very best of luck. We've spoken to Lisa Battistello about the Roosters. Your thoughts on the Roosters? They're recruited really, really well. They've got a good blend of defenders, mid-quarters and goal shooters. And I think too, good experience, but also some really good youngsters, and it's a nice mix. Yeah,
definitely. It'll be just getting game and court time in all those players and finding their best positions and how they combine. But they're going to be strong. There's no doubt about that.
Top 3, I would have thought.
Top 3.
Without a beat. Absolutely. Terang Mortlake under Liz Fowler. Great to see Liz take you on the head coaching role. I think she's been a great netballer for a long time, Liz Fowler, and she takes over Terang Mortlake. They've lost a few. They've lost a bit of quality. Libby Maloney, Amy Maloney, also Mel Burt. So they've lost some experience. Ree Davis comes in from South Rovers, which will add some, power to their goal shooting circle. But I think they're going to really promote a bit of youth this year, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. And, they've had some really good juniors in their 13s and 15s. So, getting them going and giving them some court time in the seniors may not pay off this year, but it'll certainly pay off in coming years,
And the last team are the Warrnambool Blues. And I think these guys could be the real improvers this year. Emma Cussback, Amy Wormwood, we know how well she plays the game. Ava Pearce, you throw in, Ash Evans, and the young girl that they've picked up from South Australia as well. Could they be the big improvers this year?
Well, they were the big improvers last year. They surprised everyone last year, really. So Yeah, I'm thinking, like they finished 4th last year, I'm thinking around about the same again. I can't get them in that top 3. Those other top, you've got Cobden, South and Koroit.
Yep.
I think they're the top 3 at this stage. But I think it's going to be a pretty close season again. And I think we will see those upsets right throughout the year, and we think, how can that happen? But it will. It'll happen all the time.
And the last team we did fail to mention was the Portland Tigers. Lauren Hockley taking on the reins there once again. And, a bit of an unknown quantity, a bit like Hamilton as well. I don't know whether they've picked up any big recruits, but again, I think they're going to have a huge emphasis on a lot of their young ones coming through.
I think, it'll be the same thing over the next few years. Portland have finally got some their junior teams going and got into our junior comp, which has been a struggle for Hamilton and Portland. They've always had that separate junior comp, and they don't want to play in the Hampton League. They've come across now, and they've nearly filled every grade of senior and junior netball. So that's a bonus for them because they are just going to come through and be strong.
Yeah, hopefully we see the likes for Hamilton and Portland, really make some good progression and push for these finals, because it'd be great to see them being involved in especially the Open Division this season and for beyond as well.
Pouring some big money into their courts. Like both of those clubs are going to have fantastic facilities. Can't wait for Portland. I don't think it's going to be ready to round 3, but tiered seating, same at Cobden, tiered seating. Like it's just really the amount of money being put into netball and netball facilities is fantastic by Shires and Shires really are pretty much doing it.
And I guess grants and so forth as well.
Sports Victoria,
Now, it's going to be a terrific season. Looking forward to it. And it all kicks off this weekend, Trish. Round number 1. Now, people, just for those that don't realise, last weekend's game between South Warrnambool and Koroit was a round 4 encounter, just because Koroit have the Irish Festival that week of round number 4. So they played a little bit earlier. But let's look at the first game. I'm going to get a tip off you. Camperdown taking on Terang Mortlake. The arch rivals, I guess, close town rivals. How do you see this one unfurling?
I think Camperdown, I think they've got a more settled team. We've got a few outs, but I think they're a little bit more settled. So Camperdown for me. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting just to see it. And I guess it's a real unknown quantity, isn't it, the first round, who's going to be playing. And there may be some diamonds in the rough, just ones that you don't know that could be absolute guns, So North Warrnambool will take on Cobden. You said for the Eagles, that's going to be a really challenging first round against a side that's got Jess Weed and Sophie Hinkley back in the black and red.
Nadine McNamara, you name it, Molly Hart, like some players that have played in their finals over the last few years. And I usually pick the Eagles, but I think I'll have to pick the Bombers.
Should be a close game. Hopefully it's a close game as well. Portland Tigers take on Koroit. A huge task, always taking on one of the greatest sides of this decade in Koroit. They're going to be a young side, but they've still got that good experience in there as well. Nell Mitchell, leading the way.
Absolutely, I think Koroit. It's hard to win in Portland, always. I don't know why. We don't travel very well, but it is hard to win over there. But I think Koroit will have that pretty easy for me.
Now, Port Fairy and Hamilton, that's a late start. It's a 3:15 start just due to a Super Saturday with Port Fairy and the Hamilton Kangaroos. So that's a 3:15 start. And I should say the Camperdown Terang Mortlake is a 4:15 start for our open netball as well.
It's a Super Saturday too.
Super Saturday as well, which is great for the season opener. How do you see this one happening? Port Fairy and Hamilton Kangaroos, it should be a really good contest. I guess a bit of an unknown quantity with Hamilton and Port Fairy. What youngsters are going to step up in the opening round?
I think it will be a close one. I'm going to go with Hamilton on this one. I think some of as we mentioned before, they've got a new girl coming in from Melbourne. I like their new players that they're bringing into the goals, and traditionally they've been good juniors. So I'm going to go for a little upset there and go for Hamilton.
Yeah, right. Always tough to beat up at Melville Oval. I don't know whether it's the netball court or whatever it may be, but they are always a little bit tough to beat up at Melville Oval. And hopefully they get a big crowd up there as well. There's a bit of hype about the Kangaroos, both in the football and the netball. And the Hampton League Live match of the day this weekend is between the Warrnambool arch rivals. South Warrnambool taking on Warrnambool. We spoke to Lisa Battistolo just before, and a tough 2 weeks for the South Warrnambool Roosters to kick off. But a tough one for the Warrnambool Blues to start off their season as well. This could be one of the matches of the season if it goes the way we sort of saw the Good Friday clash.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're both saying, top 3 these teams, and as I said to Lisa, I think the advantage for them will be having played a game. So they've already had a chance to have a few matchups and see how people go together. Warrnambool will be still playing around with matchups and where the players might play on their court. But, gee, it's going to be a cracker. I think it's going to be like the Croydon game. I think it'll be a goal for goal.
Who gets first crack at Amy Wormold?
Let me think. Well, I've got to think who's in defence for South, not having seen them last week. I'd say it's going to be Carly Watson by what Lisa said, if she's playing in goal defence. And that's a really interesting matchup. Athleticism against height. And she's athletic too, Amy. And she's very fit these days.
Yeah.
That will be a great matchup. I'm really tempted to go up and have a look.
So who do you think in this one?
I'm going to go South just because they've had a game.
Yep.
And I think that's going to be the only advantage I can see really there.
Well, I'll tell you what a round of netball to start off season 2021. Cannot wait. Trish Butters, thanks for joining us on our first Hampton League Live Netball Show. Looking forward to catching up with you each and every week and talking about all the happenings. And if there's any milestones or stories that you'd like to share with us, try and get in contact with either Trish or myself, and we'll certainly try and give that a little bit of airtime, especially those milestones, because I think they get forgotten a little bit at times, especially on the netball side of things. So we really want to celebrate that as well. And we mustn't forget to thank our great major sponsors. SunGold Milk, we've got the fresh, local flavoured milk here. McDonald's, they jumped on board for 2021. Power Core, and also to Lindock Living. And from the league's point of view, you guys must be absolutely rapt to have these 4 major partners for 2021 and beyond.
Absolutely. As we all know, COVID affected the leagues and all the clubs around, and everyone was a little bit worried about this year and how it might go. But having that security of really 4 major sponsors, and this whole concept, it's just so professional, and we're really rapt. So thanks.
Well, that just brings us in to the end of the show. Hope you've enjoyed. We look forward to catching up with you next week and on more with the Hampton League Netball Show. Until then, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Wednesday night.